Hey guys, how's it going? This is Dilmer again. So I wanted to basically tell you how I started to make games, why am I making games now, and how do I get motivated to make those games, because I think it's the main reason why I do what I do every day. And you'll hear why as I tell you the story. So I think it was around when I was 6 years old when I first got introduced to the most amazing world of of games, and I lived half of my life in South America, the other part of my life in North America and United States. So those 16 years of my life, it has been basically the story that I carry around, and it hasn't been easy. It wasn't easy at the beginning, and I'm super grateful how life has been in United States. And I think the main reason for that is because I'm not from a super rich family. We really had a hard time buying things and getting things where I live back in South America. And a lot of those things were, games. Like I couldn't afford to have a Nintendo, a Super Nintendo, and a lot of the things that you hear from kids having here in US and what my kids have now, I couldn't afford. Like we couldn't. It wasn't just a necessary thing to have when I was growing up. So when I was about 5 years old, my uncle, who happened to have a distribution center in Venezuela, and this distribution center used to sell Ataris. So I remember going back to his house, and he had a room just basically full of boxes and electronics, and in those boxes, every time I would go into that room, all I saw were boxes filled with cassettes and also Ataris. But I remember I couldn't afford a lot of those things. And he used to tell me, Dilmer, if you want to play in anything, if you want to use anything, just get one out of the box, just make sure that you put it back. And boy, I remember just taking those cassettes and going to another room, playing games such as Pitfall, Pac-Man, and so on. And that used to be me just on a TV with the controller, the joystick, and playing those games, trying to beat every single level. So all you think about was, oh, how do I beat this level? How do I pass it? And that was my life as a little kid, just being super excited about all the animations and everything. I didn't know what was going on, but I knew it was something amazing. It captured my attention. So then years passed by, and I turned 8 or 9, and Mortal Kombat it's out, Street Fighter is out, and I used to have tons of friends who used to play soccer, baseball. I mean, anything that I could possibly play. Of course, we didn't play baseball with a real baseball. We play it with balls made of paper. And anyway, so we used to play sports. We used to do all these different activities, and at the end of the day, we used to go to an arcade, and in that arcade, there was, I remember, a machine that was Mortal Kombat. Was the number one, the number two, and the number three, and also another one with Street Fighter, and a lot of pinball machines everywhere. So, at the end of the day, that was like the most excitement moment that, I used to go in there and then try to beat the best at beating everybody else. And I remember beating the top score, the number three, and be so excited about it. And then other kids coming in, and you wanted to do a combo, a fatality, and trying to impress everybody. But it was always like about the game and how to beat the game. I never really thought that I was gonna actually be able to make those games. And back then I wasn't even thinking about it. Then years passed by, and my parents decided to move from living in South America and then moving to North America. And at the time I was 16 years old, and when I arrived to the US, I didn't really know a lot of people. I didn't really know the language, and it was a huge cultural shock, and it was very hard on my family because we left a lot of family behind, but I didn't have a lot of friends either. So I think not having a lot of friends, not having a lot of family, I was able to focus on studying, going to college, and I remember I didn't really like math and physics and all those complicated things that I love now, and a lot of you love or you hate. But anyway, so I think your history and where you come from and all the different experiences, it has a big impact on what you're doing today. And if I look back and think about all those things, and I tell my wife this all the time, that I am so grateful that I was born in a different country, and the reason why I say that is because that's what's powerful. I think that's a skill that I have under me that I think I carry everywhere, and that's why I'm so motivated with the things that I do as a game developer, as an app developer, is because I see what I had before. I see you have to realize that not everybody has what you have now, which it's like we're here now. You have like technology, you have the internet, you have everything. Like we have it all. We can make a game from an idea, ship it all the way, and get it out to that kid that was you at one time with a joystick, and getting a smile out of that kid, or getting getting a tear, getting an excitement, getting that adult to play a game after a busy day of work, and that to me is what honestly it drives me, and that's why I make games. I make games because I love making games. I love making games that challenge people, that maybe they might make some people mad, but basically you're controlling the emotions, you're controlling the environment. You are pretty much a god in a world that you created. So that to me is what's powerful about making indie games, is because I can do everything from the very beginning to the end, and I can control the programming, I can control the art, I can make a game that is in my mind, the game that I'm dreaming about, and actually turn it into an actual medium that somebody can see it. So I don't know that there is really anything more powerful than that, and that's what I love this industry. I don't know that I ever got that when I was creating apps. So the indie game scene, it's a lot of people say that there's a lot of lack of motivation, and a lot of people don't get motivated. They're really tired after their day job. I have a day job, and it's crazy that I have a kid and my wife. I have two kids, and I'm still super motivated to work on my games and work on my tools, and I think you always have to have just remember who you were back then, and then remember where you are now, and never forget about that kid that was you playing an Atari, a Nintendo, whatever it was you at one point, and now you're the creator. Now you're the guy that is on the other side. So just remember who your target is, and making games is, if I were a 20-year-old right now, and I would be debating on what to do, and if I should do a game, and a lot of people say this market is saturated. I really don't care. And the reason why I don't care is because I love to do this. You have to find ways to do it. If you love it and you really have a passion for doing it, you have to find a way. And in this market, if people say it's saturated, it is saturated. But I think you have something unique to share to the world, and I don't think we need to let go of our dreams just because of the market, not just because of money. Do it because you're passionate about. The money will come later. You will find ways. I think we're pretty smart people, and if you have to have a full-time job and also do your dream project at night, well, do that. There's really there's not a time set for you and say, okay, if you don't do this between this and that time, you're not going to be successful. No, it's not about that. I think it's about what you believe and what your gut tells you and what you really love.